Welcome to Science. This is your independent work for the new unit, Climate Change. This is day 3. I'm Miss Mack, and I am going to be guiding you through, like I said, the independent work. So, first, let's take a look back to day 2. What did we do yesterday? You might recognize this slide. Why is climate important? If the climate changes, then everything connected to climate will change. Climate affects long-term decisions by humans, and climate affects the number and types of plants and animals that can live in all regions of the world. You might recognize this from yesterday. Then we had a check for understanding what is the difference between weather and climate. That is going to come into play today. So you might want to go open what you wrote down for day 2, because we also wrote some interesting things in our wrap-up. So pause this video, go open up your day 2 slideshow if you can find it. And if you can't find it, ask your human real-life teacher. So pause this video, find your slideshow from yesterday. All right, let's move on to today. Hopefully you have today's slideshow up. If you don't, pause this video, have today's slideshow up. All right, liftoff task. This is what we're doing this week. Weather and climate, constructing a scientific explanation. Then we are going to move into our independent work in our student handout. Please click on this student handout link. It should take you to something like this. We're going to make a copy. Then we are going to scroll all the way down to this part 3. So pause this video, make sure you have a copy and are on part 3 of your student handout. All right, let's get started. Write a scientific explanation to answer the following. What is the difference between weather and climate? That is the question we're answering. Use the template below and the model provided by your teacher to write your explanatory essay. So in your copy, make sure you write your name, date, class, and let's give our essay a title. So pause this video, do those 4 things: name, date, class, title. All right, you should have those 4 things done. Now, introduction, first paragraph. Begin describing why it is important to know what is weather and what is climate. 2 sentences, and then state your claim. I have some sentences to help us out. So let's fill in the blanks here. Climate is blank. Weather is blank. We want the definitions here. Knowing the difference between these 2 things is important because, and you should have talked about this maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, maybe you even have something written down earlier in your student handout. Next section, my claim is that blank. What is your claim? So right now, pause this video and fill in these blanks for your first paragraph. All right, you should have paused this video and you should have your first paragraph all written. If you're still having trouble, make sure to email your teacher so they can help you. So next paragraph is our body, our second paragraph. Discuss evidence found in the videos and the evidence in the graph. Use your knowledge of science to affirm why these pieces of evidence justify your claim. And we're supposed to spend 3 to 5 sentences here. So let's go back to our charted fill-in-the-blank kind of situation over here that I made for us. So we have a video that we're supposed to watch. We also have a graph. So the best way to explain evidence is just to state the evidence, state the part of the evidence that we want, and then state why it supports our claim. So one quote from, then insert the video name here, was, then you want to pick a quote from the video. This supports my claim because, then go back to your claim, look at your claim, and say, how does this quote support my claim? Then you're going to do it another time with the video. After pulling quotes from the video, we want to pull in the graph. So the graph comparing weather and data shows that blank. What does it show? This supports my claim because, and again, we're going to go back to that claim you made and explain how the graph supports your data. So We can do this a couple of times too. If you want to pull out different takeaways from the graph, you definitely can. Now this is going to give you a lot more than 3 to 5 sentences. So if you want to pull 2 quotes from the video and 1 point from the graph, or if you want to pull 1 quote from the video and 2 points from the graph, feel free to do that. Just make sure that you have 3 to 5 sentences in your body paragraph. So pause this video and fill in these blanks. This should all be 1 paragraph. Okay, you should have your body paragraph done. Let's move on to our closing paragraph that says, summarize the evidence and your knowledge of weather and climate, 2 to 4 sentences. Then state the most important differences between weather and climate. Reaffirm your claim. So for our closing paragraph, we want to start out with a transition word or phrase. In conclusion, the difference between weather and climate is important. It is. My claim was that. Then insert your claim that you wrote in the first paragraph. Then, weather is blank, definition of weather, and climate is blank, definition of climate. What are they? We have to restate that. This is our closing paragraph. The most important difference between weather and climate is that. Then we want to pick the most important difference. That's something that the student handout tells us to do. Key evidence was from, and then insert either the video name or the graph name. It said that, and then paraphrase the evidence that you want to use here. And you probably want to relate this evidence back to the most important difference between weather and climate is that. So pick a slice of evidence that supports your little mini claim up here, just to keep things relevant and on topic in this closing paragraph. This supports my claim because, and then how does this piece of evidence support your claim that's up here? Knowing the difference between weather and climate affects the world because. Now this is just an ending sentence that I threw in there. It just wraps everything up in a bow very nicely. So how do you think knowing the difference between weather and climate affects the world? How does it affect the world? So pause this video right now, fill in the blanks, and you can always rewind this video. Maybe you missed something I said. Maybe I was going a little too fast for you. Don't worry, this is a video. You're in control. So pause now, do your closing paragraph. All right, and you should have a nice closing paragraph. Now we're supposed to use the rubric below our paragraph to score our essay, but this little rubric in the student handout is, I think, a typo. So if you go back to your slides, the correct rubric to self-assess is in your slideshow, should be in your slideshow. So we have our scoring domain over here, our emerging, developing, proficient, and advanced. I always look to the advanced first. So constructs, evaluates, or revises an explanation that includes a claim, multiple sources of accurate evidence, and reasoning using accurate and adequate scientific ideas or principles. Goodness gracious, that is a mouthful. If you filled in all of the blanks, though, in the example that I had done, and you filled in the blanks accurately to the data that you've been studying, this should be an advanced answer. So take a minute or two, pause this video. Maybe you want to read the proficient and developing and emerging parts of the rubric. Pause this video, use this rubric to self-assess your explanation, your essay. All right, and that is the end of this video. Hopefully you got a nice robust essay out of it, a nice robust answer to the question that was in this lesson. And that is all for today. I will see you next time.